unemployment in Britain is high. Amongst refugees, it's even higher. Most job vacancies are advertised online, but you can also visit a job centre for help and advice. If you're from another country, finding a job can be even more daunting. But the Pause project has been designed to help. A highly innovative, serious games project aimed at refugee job hunters and potential employers, it's a successful collaboration between Nottingham Trent University, Green Hat Interactive and their European project partners, Provincia di Parma and the Swedish Telepedagogic Knowledge Centre.
We're trying to produce persuasive games. We're trying to change attitudes to migrant workers and refugees. We don't want to coerce people into changing their attitudes. We want to create empathy for the characters in our games. So in this way, employers could enter the game and they could experience firsthand the problems and stresses people face when entering the country and trying to get a job, going to a job centre, or the first time they have a job interview. So in this way they can enter the game and they can face for themselves, for the first time, these kind of negative stereotypes that prevent people getting jobs.
Nottingham Trent University and Green Hat Interactive joined forces again because they know how to make the project effective.
Serious games develop and communicate in different ways from other instructional material. They deliver messages, but at the same time they can simulate those experiences. We've shown ourselves that video games can improve choice reaction time, independent decision making, memory skills and mathematical skills in people with intellectual disabilities.
Being unique and having involvement from users at the heart of the project has been vital to their success.
We always use end users in our project, and we find that that's the best way of making sure that the end result is usable by them and engaging. But in this particular project, it was vital that we did so because we wanted to reflect the real world issues that they face and the barriers to employment in that target group. So it was important that they created the narrative themselves so that every piece of content in the games reflects something that they have directly experienced.
The very people the Pause project has been designed for have learned a lot from and really valued being part of shaping it, like Mariam and her husband Rashid.
Each and every person was listened to. They really took up each and every point, and that was really so big to me because if someone can listen to what you say and it's implemented, really, there's nothing better than that. Pause has really put me somewhere that now I don't have any fear to talk to anybody at any time.
Pause has taught me several things. First of all, to look at myself as a human being and to make sure that I could help some other person become confident. Imagine you are just given leave to stay here. The next step would be looking for where to go and what to do. So the games, by the time someone actually gets involved in the job center, you'll have seen the games and maybe you have talked to some of the people like me. So definitely that person will come out as confident to go to job center, better than someone who had never got to know the games.
Collaborative effort is something the Pause project are used to, something they couldn't do without. People who work with refugees on a daily basis know only too well how hard things are.
I don't think there is enough support for refugees to find a job because their problems are very different. They need people to take the time with them. They need people possibly who will use a language service to just make sure they're really understanding them. We have sort of a young man who goes into the job centre and people are downright rude to him every time he goes. And yet he's been in this country practically all his life. His English is perfect, he has good qualifications, but they don't give him the chance. We have helped people get computers or laptops in order that they can become more computer literate and then showed them how to use them to find jobs. Because people just assume that everybody can do it.
We take a lot of things for granted, and the Pause project appears to be filling a gap in refugees' knowledge that's badly needed in order to help them move forward. David used to be responsible for the dispersal of asylum seekers and for helping refugees integrate.
I think we need to prepare people who come from different cultures. It is true that our educational structure and also the way in which we apply for jobs and the interviews themselves are based on a white Northern European model. Rather than taking that apart, we need to ensure that people understand that and have access to that. And the simulation element is very, very important to help people navigate themselves through that system before they face that in reality.
As well as helping people, the games were specifically designed to be adaptable for other countries across Europe.
Basically, it uses a tool produced by Microsoft that's called XNA. This allows a much easier production of video games. We've created 4 scenarios for the kind of problems that migrant workers and refugees face across Europe, and by providing these tools, they can edit them to their personal circumstances very easily. People can go in and change the narration in the game, the look and feel of the game. They can add buttons and text. Within the game, because it's 3-dimensional, you can put other types of furniture in there. You can change that very easily to community languages, which is incredibly important when you're working with migrant workers and refugees.
The first impact that being involved in Pause had was empowerment, because people actually listened to them, listened to the experiences that they'd had and the problems that they faced. And even if the project couldn't actually immediately answer those, they just felt so grateful that people were listening. And in fact, the 2 people who have had most involvement are actually both in employment now, after quite long periods of being out of work. It gave them the courage and the drive to go on and really work for getting a job.
This project has been full of challenges. It's been extremely hard work and a long, long road. However, all of that has been counteracted by the rewards that it's brought in seeing the end users grow in confidence and in self-esteem.
Being part of the process is incredibly important to me. I'm a university academic. Lots of university academics, especially in computer science, don't get to meet real user communities. So being involved with them and realising our project has a direct impact on their lives is incredibly rewarding and spurs us on to do more projects.
The Pause Project, a collaborative, serious games project bringing together extraordinary expertise to help change lives.